welcome back to The Dish. As always, I'm Jalen Russell, joined again by Jalen Gray, giving you the latest from the NBA this week. Now, obviously, we're going into the All-Star break, so there's not a whole lot going on in the NBA.
And there probably won't be anything to talk about next week.
But there's an interesting story that came out this week that was a report about a pay-per-view that almost happened, where it was going to be MJ versus Magic Johnson back in the summer of 1990. Two 15-minute halves, one-on-one game.
Definitely paid to see that.
Yeah, and $1 million on the line for the winner of that game.
Definitely paid to see that.
And so it got us thinking, like, who would be, like, and that was obviously going to be the most compelling duo that you could have play against each other at the time, because Magic coming off 5 rings already in his career, that you've got MJ, the rising star, right before his first three-peat, would have been perfect. So it got us thinking, who would we do it with this year if we had to, like, pick 2 people to throw out there for a one-on-one match? And so obviously the only answer to pick from was KD and Russ, because that would be great. But who do you think would win that matchup, one-on-one, KD or Russ?
Well, first of all, it's going to be a heated matchup. I don't know if they're going to talk trash to each other. If they do, I want them to be mic'd up so I can hear everything they say. You know, you can bleep it out for the kids if you need to. But
that's pay-per-view, dude. We're here.
I mean, I think that unless we're going to be liberal with the foul calls and you know, like, let them play physical.
Yeah.
I think it has to be KD all the way. I mean, he's just too lengthy. He's 6'11", 7 foot. He's just going to shoot over top the entire time. And KD is one of the best shooters in NBA history.
That's true. My only thing KD, great shooter, obviously. He's shooting, 37% from 3 this year. So he's won 2 MVPs in his career, 2 ninth in points this season. My only thing with Russ can't shoot. But at the
KD
same
just
time,
has to stay under the rim.
At the same time, though, you know he's going to care about that game so much more than KD. He's going to want to just destroy KD. And so when you see Russ, like, if you have to pick any guy to not be on the wrong side of him being upset, I think Russ is that guy in the NBA right now, because he's going to go at you. And so KD, yes, he has the length, but Russ also has, like, it's not like Russ can't jump. And Russ is a tenacious defender when he wants to be a tenacious defender. I think he'd get up in him a little bit, get a couple steals, get a couple swipes or something like that, get a bunch of dunks.
But KD's become a better rim protector now, so I just think
he might rip the rim off, dude.
You post up under the basket and just, you know, try to not let him get layups or dunks.
It'd definitely be an interesting game to see. I think that I would pay a lot of money to see it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd rather see that than Mayweather, Conor McGregor.
True, and I can't wait to see what happens when they play on the court together at All-Star Weekend this weekend. But moving on, one of the other interesting things that came out this week was the Indiana Pacers, who are sitting in 6th place in the East right now, 29 and 28, lost 6 of their last 6 games before the All-Star game. They have reportedly decided to make their 2017 first-round pick available for trades. They're trying to get people to come in to help out Paul George and maybe even make a run this year. Do you think that they're a team that's really one move away, that's, like, on the line to being able to be that contender again like they were a couple years back?
I don't think so. I think they definitely had a moment back then when Frank Vogel was coaching the team, and they had the core of George Hill, Lance Stevenson, David West, and
Lance Stevenson, George Hill,
Roy Hibbert. Yeah. I think that was probably the closest that Paul George will ever get to making the finals or contending for a championship with the Pacers. So, I mean, he's a free agent in 2019. So they have 2 years, which really means they have a year to make moves and try to, you know, make him believe that they can contend for a title. Otherwise, they're just going to have to try to dish him somewhere before he leaves them with nothing.
Right. And that's true. And so I think they are motivated to make a move. And really, this team is better than I think people are giving them credit for. They were 29 and 22 before these last 6 games, which looks a lot better than 29 and 28.
But Paul George came out and said that he wants to be on the team that contends for a title.
Right, but that's the thing. So think about it. There are a bunch of guys out there right now that are on the trade block that could make a big difference for this team. You've got Melo, obviously, Lou Williams, Brooke Lopez. They said he might waive his trade
He's not
clause.
going to Indiana.
Probably not for Indiana, but he might waive his no trade. And so I'm just there are guys out there that can make a difference for this team. And really, when you look at it, Miles Turner matches up perfectly with Roy Hibbert. They're like almost same game everything.
Now because Roy Hibbert was playing his best basketball.
But hear me out. Yeah, so you've got a parallel there. You've got a parallel with Jeff Teague and George Hill. If not, Jeff Teague's better than George Hill. And Paul George is the same. So really all you need is a guy to step into that shooting guard position that Lance Stevenson had and a guy to step into the David West position. Thaddeus Young can fill that David West position because he wasn't producing like he was. So if you're bringing a good wing man that can just come in there and score a little bit, be a little like a guy that can do it all.
I think competition's gotten even better. Like back then, they had to
go through the heat and
they had to
push
beat
them
that
to
Miami
7.
team. Now they have a
twice.
four-headed monster with the Warriors.
Yeah, but the Warriors are that's the thing. The Warriors, someone gets hurt, you drop down to 3. Steph isn't shooting well in the finals again. You have a chance
I don't
again.
know if you can gamble that.
I think if they get the right player, and I'm not saying there's a whole lot of moves that they can make to make this happen, but I'm saying if they get the right player in, it doesn't even have to be Melo, but if they get a guy in there that can score, that can move the ball a little bit, and just plays well within that system, I can see them making a run. I mean, they already know how to give LeBron problems to begin with, so. If you have the right combination, it can work out.
Paul George.
Exactly.
But who's going to guard Kyrie?
We'll figure that out when we get there. Maybe go soon. But that is all we have for you this week. Thanks for watching. Enjoy All-Star Weekend. Hopefully the dunk contest doesn't disappoint.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.